Welcome back to Movement Fix. I'm Ryan DeBell. In this video, we're going to look at stretching your ankle and your foot and your toes into plantar flexion. So often we stretch only into dorsiflexion. Literally every stretch or every time we're talking about the ankle, we're talking about dorsiflexion. Stretch it in a squat, stretch it in a lunge, look at the soleus, look at the gastroc. But what about plantar flexion? This was really brought to my attention by Chris Johnson, who over and over and over again emphasized to me, hey Ryan, you really should be thinking more also about plantar flexion. And the question is why? So if you think about your ankle joint, yes, it can go into dorsiflexion when you squat, when you run, for example. Those are very important. But you have to give your joints in your body the full range of motion for every joint. And if you're only ever stretching into dorsiflexion and you're not stretching into plantar flexion, there are so many nerve endings in the tendons, in the capsule of the joint, etc., that you're never stimulating. And so you can actually really make your ankles and your feet feel better if you stretch them into plantar flexion. So this is a great way to do it that includes your toes. So I'm sitting in this position here. This makes it very easy to do. I'll put this hand on this leg to sort of stabilize it. Then with this hand, I'm going to put my hand over my toes, and then I will pull this as far as I can into plantar flexion, and I'm inverting a little bit, but I'm really getting my toes too, as you can see. Then I'll hold that for maybe 2 to 5 seconds. I'll come back to dorsiflexion, and then I'll go again into plantar flexion, stretching like this. And I'll go back and forth 5, 10, 15 reps. And you'll probably feel a stretch through here. That's where you should feel it. And we'll repeat for the specified number of reps. Now you could add this in with some of the other foot and ankle stuff that we do, the rolling, the foot handshake, go into some plantar flexion, add in some dorsiflexion. You could make a nice like foot, ankle, and toe routine with that. But yeah, this is a really nice thing to add in. And it helps if you're trying to do any sort of sitting where you're sitting in a kneeling position. A lot of times when people are sitting in a kneeling position, like if you were to go like this, for example, the limitation is in ankle plantar flexion. And you should be able to do this comfortably. And if you can't, because of the top of your foot, for example, then you can work on that pretty specifically by doing this drill. So you don't need to hold this for like a minute or 2 minutes. I would hold this for maybe 5 seconds max, and do it more for reps than for a sustained hold. So that is a way that you can work on ankle, foot, and toe plantar flexion stretching and mobilization to offset the copious amounts of dorsiflexion stretching to give your ankle both directions and feed it from both sides, so to speak. So that's what I got for you guys this week on Movement Fix. Make sure to follow us on Instagram @The Movement Fix and also subscribe on YouTube. I'll see you guys next week.